Shalam.
Brothers united
In Christ.
begging you with these words, the Bible. Shalam, brothers united in Christ. We're coming back at you with this lesson. Religion is modern day idolatry. We've been digging into it and we've been staying with it for a while now because I feel it is a big problem in our amongst us as a nation of people. All these religions, all these different ways of serving the Lord that the Lord didn't co-sign. So we're going to start off with Deuteronomy 32:16.
Deuteronomy 32:16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange powers. With abominations provoked they him to anger.
Stop. And this is talking about years ago that our forefathers did this thing. And it's still going on today in 2015 where the Lord is angry because we're worshiping things other than the Most High. And these things, he say, are strange because they're not from us. They didn't come from our people. They didn't come from our forefathers. They didn't come from the Lord. We got these ways from the heathen. We got these strange ways from other people, from other nations, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 32:17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High.
Straight up and down. There's only two spiritual forces in the earth. If you're not locked into to Christ, then you're locked into the devil. Straight up and down. It might sound harsh, but if you're not serving the Lord in truth and sincerity, then you're locked into the devil, right? Read that verse again.
Deuteronomy 32:17. They sacrificed unto devils,
Right.
not to the Most High, to powers whom they knew not, to new powers that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
But that's what's going on with religion. These things are new. There's Scientology, there's Mormonism. All these things they started here in America. These things are new. These things are strange to what our forefathers knew, right? Read that verse one more time.
Deuteronomy 32:17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High,
Right?
to powers whom they knew not, to new powers that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
Straight up and down. All this new stuff, these new versions of the Bible, all these new things the Lord don't like. He likes us to hold on to what he set up. The Lord says that, he's the power of Jacob, so he doesn't change. Nothing with the Lord has changed through these years. You know what I mean? Through Christ, some things we see change because we don't have our own land no more. So we don't have a temple that we can pray to in these things. And we don't have our own army to enforce certain things. But for the most part, it's still the laws and commandments of the Lord that's going to get us through this. It's not for us to go chasing out what the other nations believe in or lift up what the other nations lift up. Right? Now come to the Second Kings. Take that from the 7th verse.
2 Kings 17:7.
And the thing is, I was doing a lesson in Deuteronomy 32, and then I came to that point where it was talking about these other powers that people are locked into, and I figured let me do a lesson on that, right? In this chapter, the 2 Kings 17, it shows the height of idolatry amongst the Israelites. This is why I picked this chapter. It really gets into how far off we went as a nation of people in idolatry, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17:7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and had feared other powers.
So again, as soon as we came up out of Egypt, as soon as the Lord delivered us with all these miracles and wonderful works, split open seas for us, brought us through the wilderness and schooled us, and yet when we come into the land of the Canaanites, we started fearing their powers. We started fearing their idols. We started fearing Baal and these things, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17.
Instead of fearing the Most High, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17:8. And walked in the statues of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made.
Yeah, and it's the reason why the Lord cast those people out of the land, because they were polluted. They were doing all types of wickedness. We went through these scriptures before, so I'm not going to go through line upon it. But when we look even in Leviticus, we see that, they were sleeping with animals. They were sleeping with their brothers and sisters. They was doing all this madness in that land. And the Lord kicked them out of the land because of the wickedness that they were doing. And now we come up after them after them in that land and pick up their same ways, like some fools, right? Read on. Because the same thing that happened to them, they got kicked out the land. We walked in their ways, and we ended up getting kicked out the land the same way, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17:9. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their power. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to fenced city.
So yeah, so that's how Jerusalem was set up. We had watchtowers before the city. We had a fence around the city. And it said that this idolatry was through the whole land, right? Read on.
And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree.
Yeah, and to bring it up today, it's these religions. They set up these religions everywhere, over on every high hill or every street. And they set up these images. Every corner store you see, every corner you see a church. Every other corner you see a liquor store. There's too many of them. It can't be good for you. The masses are confused by these things, right? Read on.
And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them.
Yeah, even incense is polluted in the earth today, right? And again, I'm not going to get into detail and whatnot, but they corrupted it. At one point in time, it was amongst us as the priests. We used to offer it up with the sacrifices for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Now the way they use it in the earth is profane, right? Totally against how the Lord set it up, right? Read on.
And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger.
Right?
For they served idols, whereof the Lord has said unto them, ye shall not do this thing.
Real basic. Like some things in the Bible is like, parables and prophecies, and it's hard to understand. But this is the first commandment. The Lord said, you're not going to have no other powers other than me. And we fell away from this. We started to worship in every idol, under every green tree, on every high hill, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17:13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets.
Yeah, so to you Negroes, to you of Hispanic descent, to you Indians here in America, and all you that went through captivity and hard slavery in Northern America, Southern America, Central America, and in the Caribbean belt, the Lord said that he sent these prophets to testify to us to try to bring us back, right? To try and bring us back to the truth, to take us away from these idols, from these religions, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17:13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments,
right,
and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets.
Yeah, and us, we're saying the same thing today. Leave off the evil and do the good, right? Leave off religion and follow the Lord in truth and sincerity, through his commandments, through his laws, and through his statutes, because that's what the Lord set up. The Lord did not set up religion. He did not establish religion in the earth, right? Read on.
Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but
Right.
hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their power.
Yeah, and we could go through the whole history. We see that you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and people of Indian descent were some hard-headed people. We don't want to hear what the Lord want to say. We want to go and run about and do what we think is right. That's our MO. That's what we're known for on the earth, right? Read on.
And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain.
Yeah, we became vain. How did we become vain? We started chasing down the things that the heathen love, the things that the heathen do. Our women want to dye their hair blonde like the white woman. The men, they want to get tattoos like the heathen do. These things made us real simple. These things made us real vain. It took away our spirituality, right? Read on.
And 2 Kings 17:15. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers,
Right.
and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them.
Don't do like the heathen. Don't be like them, right? Read on.
And they left all the commandments of the Lord their power.
And that's heavy, because they left every single last commandment that the Lord gave them. So we was in all wickedness. We left everything. We started worshiping other powers. We started taking the name of the Lord in vain. We started, dishonoring our parents. We started committing adultery. We left every commandment the Lord gave us and part of that is because we don't even know who we are anymore in the earth, that we're the nation of Israel, that we should be keeping the commandments of the Lord. We're taught in the earth that we're Africans, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, they go out when they want to go search out Egypt, or they want to search out some African pride in these things, right? Totally misdirected, totally confused in the earth, right? Read on.
2 Kings 17 and 16. And he left all the commandments of the Lord their power, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served Baal.
Right? Let me get Deuteronomy 4 and 9. We started going through this last week, and we got into how we got into the idolatry with the golden calves and all that. And we talk about the groves and how those things, you know, we still see in the earth through the religion, because we see with that golden calf that those brothers and sisters, they know that golden calf didn't deliver them. But because they left off the truth, the Lord blinded them and had them lost in a lie. Right? And with the groves, we don't see that as big as it was in the earth before, but they're still here. Where the people, they set up their statues, they set up their images, and then they grow the trees around them. They grow the shrubs and stuff around them, right? Like they do with the presidents and all those prominent men in Bohemian Grove, right? Read what you got over here.
Deuteronomy 4 and 9. Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life.
Yeah, so it's not like an easy thing like these Christians say, where they just, you know, accept the Lord as their Savior in these things, and they say that they saved. The Lord said you got to take heed. You got to always be checking yourself. Take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently. Keep your imagination and your character away from these religions, from these vain ways, from the ways of the heathen, right? Because your soul is your imagination and your character, right? Lest thou forget the things which thy eye have seen, unless they depart from thy heart all the days of the Lord. So you got to always keep sharpening yourself. You got to always keep being around brothers and sisters that believe like you. You got to always keep talking about these things so that you don't forget them, and that you don't leave off from these things like our forefathers did before us, right? Read on.
But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
Yeah, don't leave your children out there in America without no kind of defense, without no shield, right? Without no sword. Because the Lord said this word is like a sword. This is how we defend ourselves against all the lies that's in the earth, right? Against all the ways of the heathen that a lot of our people are caught up in, right? Read on.
Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy power in Horeb, when the Lord said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth.
Yeah, this is who we should fear. We should have the Lord as our chief fear, and not fear the other powers, like we were just reading in 2 Kings, right? Read on.
And that they may teach their children. And ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burnt with fire onto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness.
Yeah, that's a scary scene. I couldn't even imagine that, like looking up in the mountain and seeing that thick, dark cloud and that blackness and all this lightning and thunder going on. That's a big scene, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 4 and 12. And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice.
Yeah, so when the Lord first came to us, we only heard his voice. The Lord, he didn't come to us with no crosses. He didn't come to us with shields of David, no crescent moons with stars. The Lord didn't come to us in no shape of Buddha or in a bull or a lion or any of these things. It was only his voice we heard. And what was he telling us? He was teaching us his statutes, his commandments, and his laws, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 4 and 13. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments, and he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone.
Right.
And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land, or whether you go over to possess it.
So this is what the Lord gave unto Moses. He said that he gave him commandments, he gave him statutes, and he gave him judgments. It don't say nothing about religions. It doesn't say anything about, you know what I mean, like astrology, people being caught up in things like that. The Lord says straight up and down, laws, statutes, and judgments. Religion wasn't even mentioned here, right? It wasn't even considered, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb, out of the midst of the fire.
Yeah, so keep checking yourself. Don't let yourself fall off and fall down to some idol or to some image, because It's big in the earth. People, they use images big. You see like Nike, some people get caught up in that Nike symbol. They use that to draw people in, these images and all these fancy looking things. Because a lot of people, they're material, so they get drawn away by the things that they see, by this certain music that sounds good and things like that. But the Lord is saying here that it's not about these images. It's not about these idols. It's about worshiping the Lord in truth, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 4:16, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female,
Right?
the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air.
And we see this with religions. We see religions, they use all these symbols. Some people use a symbol of a fish. Some people, they use a symbol of a dove. They lift that up. Some people, like in India, they use an image of an elephant. And they lift these things up in the earth instead of lifting up the true power, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 4:18, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And Deuteronomy 4:19, and lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, and serve them, which the Lord thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Yeah, the sun, the stars, and the moon, they're big. The Lord set them for signs, for seasons, and these things. And to give a lesser light by night and a light by day. Right? These things have purpose. The Lord set them up. But they're beautiful and they're so glorious and whatnot that people in ancient time, they used to fall down and worship these things. We call these people that used to worship the sun pagans. And that's their whole thing, was worshiping the sun. But the host of the heaven is not just the sun, moon, and the stars. The host of the heavens also is the spirits that inhabit the heavens and the angels that the Lord made. Because you got some people that's into that too, where they're worshiping angels instead of worshiping the Most High that created the angels, right? Even we see with that Revelation, when the angel came to the brother, he bowed down before the angel. He said, "See, do it not, because I'm one of your brethren. Worship the Most High," right? Come back to the matter of fact, let's keep going. Let me get 2 Kings 23 and 4.
Second Kings 23 and 4. And the king commanded Hilkiah, the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal.
So these brothers and sisters, they was cleaning up the house of the Lord and doing it righteously. They were throwing out all these idols. They was throwing out all these vessels that was made for the idols, and they was trying to like clean everything out so they could start fresh, right? Read on.
And for the grove, and for all the hosts of heaven, and he burnt them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel.
Yeah, so we see that we did fall off, even though the Lord set this up in the commandments that we shouldn't, look into the sun, moon, and stars and worship these things. As a nation of people, we did fall to that. This being our Jeroboam right here, my fault, this being Josiah, right? The brother, he came and cleaned it up. It started under Jeroboam, but this brother, he was one of the righteous kids cleaning it up. And to bring it up to date, this is what we should be doing today. We should be speaking out against these religions. We should be speaking out against all these idols and all these contrary words of serving the Lord. I mean, we have to. That's the example that we see in the Bible, and we're commanded to do these things, right? Because a lot of our people are snared by these things, and a lot of people are trapped by these things. And right now, I'm going through all the pagan stuff and all the people that's into the sun, moon, and stars. There's people that worship those things too. You wouldn't really call that a religion, but I guess you would call it astrology or or astronomy and things of that nature. That's idolatry too. The Lord said people that's locked into that is idolatrous too, right? Read on.
2 Kings 23 and 5. And he put down the idolatrous priests, whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high places, in the cities of Judah, and in the places round about Jerusalem. Yeah,
the idolatrous priests today, who would they be? I would say these are these people that call themselves pastors now, that call themselves preachers, that call them ministers. Back then they was calling them priests. But anybody who's preaching religion, and who's blowing up religion, pumping, Roman Catholic, pumping Baptist, pumping Episcopalian, all these things are against the Lord, right? And the Lord said we should speak against it, right? Read on.
Them also that burnt incense unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the hosts of heaven.
Right?
And he brought out of the grove from the house of the Lord without Jerusalem unto the brook Kidron, and burnt it at the brook Kidron, and stamped it small to powder.
Yeah, the brother, he pulled out all the idols, all the incense, all these lying priests, and he said he destroyed them all, and he stamped them and broke them down into powder, right? And spread them on the brook. Read on.
And cast the powder thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of the Lord, where the woman wove hangings for the grove.
Yeah, these are all types of ways of idolatry, which are bringing the date being religion. And we see that the religion, these are the same people that co-sign the homosexuals and the lesbians. Like how it says here, he broke down the houses of the Sodomites and got them out there. If you really locked into the truth of the Lord, and you understand what the Lord is saying, you're going to be against these Sodomites too. You're not going to co-sign them in religion and say it's okay, or say they're born this way or whatnot. You should be locked into what the Lord is saying against them, right? Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. The Lord says nothing new under the sun. It was idolatry back then, and now it's religion today.
Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the Most High.
Stop. So it's saying that man naturally is ignorant, right? It's naturally in him to be kind of carnal. Read on.
Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the Most High,
Right?
and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is.
Yeah, but the good things that are seen, you should be able to understand what the Lord is about. When you do look up at the sun, the moon, and the stars, and these things, you should understand that the Lord is great that make those things, right? And you're not supposed to worship the things that's created. You're supposed to worship the Creator, right? Because if you think the sun is so powerful and the wind, when these storms come through, is so powerful, hurricanes and these things, the Lord is greater than all that, right? And He's the one that should get the praise, right? Read on.
Neither by considering the works do they acknowledge the workmaster.
Yeah, man, you got to understand, if the sun is so hot and so powerful, you got to understand that the workmaster that made it is even greater than that, right? Read on.
Redeemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the powers which govern the world.
Yeah, we see this amongst the Greeks. The Greeks, they had a god for everything. They had a god of fire. They had a god of water, a god of war. They had a god of thunder, Zeus or whatever. They had all this stuff in confusion, just because they were just so amazed by these things in the earth, and they didn't understand it's the Lord that control all these things, right? Read on.
With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be powers, and let them know how much better the Lord of them is. For the first author of beauty have created them.
Yeah, like I've been saying, man, don't worship the creation, worship the Creator, right? Read on.
But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, and let them understand by them how much mightier He is that made them.
Read on.
For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionally the maker of them is seen.
Yeah, again, just like I was saying, if you understand how powerful the hurricane is, and you understand how deadly these tornadoes are, proportionately, you understand how great the Lord is, because it's the Lord that's throwing all those things out of His treasures. It's the Lord that's controlling all those things, right? Read on.
But yet for this they are the less to be blamed, for they per adventure are seeking the Most High, and desirous to find Him.
Yeah, and some people they are looking for the Lord, but then they get caught up with these new things that are in the earth. They get caught up with these religions. They get caught up in astrology. They get caught up in the Kabbalah and things of this nature, right? They're searching for the Lord, but then they're blinded by these religions, by these idols. It's taking them off, right? Read on.
Wisdom of Solomon 13:7. For being conversant in His works, they search Him diligently and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen.
Read on.
Howbeit neither are they to be pardoned.
Read on.
For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof?
Yeah, so you so busy looking at the stars, you so busy checking out these things that's going on in the world, all that energy and effort you doing chasing down this idolatry, if you put that same energy, that same diligence in searching out these scriptures, you would have found the Lord, right? Read on.
But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope.
Yeah, anybody that's hoping in the idol and that's hoping in religion, these things are dead. These things aren't spiritual. These things are co-signed by the Lord, right? Read on.
Who call them powers, which are the works of men's hands.
Right? These religions are the works of men's hands too, because they come up out of a man's heart. And he come and he build these religions up. They didn't come from the Lord. You know what I mean? These things are all man-made, right? Read on.
Gold and silver to show art in, and resemblance of beasts, or a stone good for nothing.
Right?
The work of an ancient hand.
Now let me get Nehemiah 9 and 6. Yeah, all these religions are good for nothing, man. All this idolatry is good for nothing. All these people that's into astrology and the zodiac, and they lifting up the stars and acting like the positions of the planets and the sun and the moon is affecting your life. The Lord is saying those things are good for nothing, right? Read on.
Nehemiah 9 and 6. Thou, even thou art Lord alone. Thou hast made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their hosts,
Right.
the earth, and all things that are therein, the seas, and all that is therein. And thou preservest them all, and the host of heaven worship thee.
Right, let me get Job 9 and 1 and 10, and Job 38, 31 and 34. So yeah, look, Job 9, 1 to 10, and Job 38 and 31. So yeah, man, even the host, all these things, they worship the Most High. The sun, moon, they all locked into the Lord. They can't deny the Lord. They can't go against the Lord. The sun, they come out every day at the same time. It goes around, you know, the earth goes around the sun the same time every year. All these things are locked into the Lord and commanded by the Lord, and they do what the Lord say to do. The problem is man. Man is the one that got the problem because we want to be hard-headed and we want to be stiff-necked and go against the commandments of the earth. But all the hosts of heaven that the Lord made, they're locked into him, and they worship him. And there's no need for a man to worship them. Right? Read on.
Job answered and said, Job's 9 and 1. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with the Most High?
Right? Man can't be just with the Most High, because the Most High is with just and right as he. All his ways are judgment. There's no good or evil with the Lord. It's only good with the Lord. Where man is corrupted, like we just read from nature. By nature, he's against the Lord. Naturally, he thinks to go against the Lord and seek after these carnal things. If it wasn't for commandments and laws and statutes keeping them in check, right? Read on.
Job 9 and 3. If he will contend with him, he cannot answer him 1 of 1,000. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength, who have hardened himself against him and have prospered.
Yeah, again, like I was just saying, how we're a hard-headed nation. We hardened against the Lord and it didn't get us nowhere. We're still here in America as second-class citizens. You know what I mean? We don't have a land. We don't have a temple no more. We don't have these things. It's a good, I mean, we even lost our identity. Totally confused here in America, right? Read on.
Job 9 and 5. Which removeth the mountains, and they know not. Which overturneth them in his anger.
Right?
Which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble.
Yeah, it's the Lord that do all these things, all the earthquakes, all the mountains overturn these things. It's the Lord, right? Read on.
Which commandeth the sun, and it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars.
Right?
Which alone spreadeth out the heavens, and treadeth upon the waves of the sea.
Right?
Which maketh
Arcturus,
Arcturus, Orion, and Pleiades,
Pleiades,
and the chambers of the south.
All right, now let me get to Job 38 and 31. See, because a lot of people, they say, oh, this is in the Bible. They talk about constellations, because, man, like you can look up in the star, and if you go to certain parts of the earth, like here, let's talk about the south. In the south, if you look at the stars, there's certain constellations that's only in the south. You could kind of connect a dot, and one might look like a man holding a bow and arrow, or one might look like a bear or something like that, but the Lord created these things. He didn't create these things for a man to worship him. He created these things for travelers, for like when people navigate in the sea or they're flying, they see stars, certain clusters of stars, and they're in a certain position, and they know where they at. So it's for navigation, for traveling, right? To know where you at in the earth, right? What you got?
Job 30 and 31. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion?
Right, and then they got the note here. It's saying that the 7 stars, but it's talking about constellations, what they call on the earth today constellations, right? Read on.
Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in its season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons?
Right, and here they say Mazzaroth, and the notes here are saying the 12 signs, or this is where people they get the zodiac, and they say now because I'm born in December, or I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius, so this is the personality I'm gonna have. These things are all lies. These things are corrupted in the earth. Yes, the Lord did make the 12 signs and stars in the heavens, but he never called it zodiac. Right here it's called as the Mazzaroth, or the 12 signs. But the Lord never called it zodiac. Says now I'm gonna go in the newspaper every day and go check out my horoscope and figure out how my week is gonna play out. The Lord didn't set it up like that, right? He set up stars for seasons. Certain seasons they shine brighter, you can see them better, and for positions, for people so they can travel, right? It's not for men to worship these things or to bow down and humble themselves to these things, right? Read on.
Job 30 and 33. Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth?
Yeah, these are questions. No, nobody can do that. It's the Lord that do these things, right? Read on.
Canst thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, that abundance of waters may cover thee?
No, you can't, right? That's the answer. Let me get Isaiah 47 and 10. See, because some people, they'll go into the Bible and they'll take these parts of the Bible and corrupt it. And we see that with religion too, where you'll get like one certain sect of people that want to call themselves Jewish, and they just take the Old Testament part of the Bible and make a whole religion out of that. You got some people, they come here and they just take the New Testament and they make a whole other religion out of that. You got some people, they come and find 1 or 2 scriptures, and now they want to make a whole astrology and zodiac out of that. When the Lord never co-signed those things. The Lord didn't mean for them to be worshipped like that, right? Read on.
Isaiah 47 and 10. For thou hast trust in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth thee. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
Yeah, man. People, they take this knowledge and they totally twist it. They twist it up and they turn it into something that's evil. And this bigger religion where they take bits and parts of this Bible and they make it look like it's real nice, like it's real pleasant to come in and worship that religion, when in truth they're twisting all these things up. They're telling you not to keep the commandments no more. You know what I mean? They're telling you religion is a revolving door. You could leave, come back, sin, leave, come back. All these things are lies, right? So, read on.
And thou hast said...
Tell them where you at.
Isaiah 47 and 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me.
Right, read on.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
But the Lord is saying these things are coming upon people because they took the knowledge of the Most High and they perverted it, right? They say that you don't have to keep the commandments no more. When it says in the Bible, these laws and the statutes are going to be here, not one jot or tittle is going to be removed from this until heaven and earth pass away. Yet, here in 2015, religion will tell you, you don't have to keep these commandments. They're perverting the knowledge of the Most High, right? Read on.
Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thy enchantments,
right,
and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
Yeah, the sorceries is all these lies, all these philosophies, and all these perversions of the truth, right? Read on.
If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels.
Yeah, man. People are worried today with these religions, man. All these counsels, all these lies, all these contrary words and ways of serving the Lord. You know, the Lord said we're supposed to keep the Sabbath on Saturday. Yet through religion, through the counsel religion give you, you're going to pollute the whole Sabbath day and start worshiping on Sunday, right? That's just read that again.
Isaiah 47 and 13. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels.
Yeah, we talking to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and those of our Indian descent here in America, that the descendants of slavery and captivity, we're talking to you. You're the ones that's worried by these religions, by these councils, by these perverted knowledge that's coming from these other nationalities, right? That's screwing us up. Read on.
Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators
Yeah, so
stand
this
up.
is not really a religion in the earth, but again, it's a philosophy, and it's something that a lot of people are locked into with this astrology, right? With these stargazers, people that want to look up the stars and acting like this is what's going to save their life, or this is what's going to give them strength and guidance throughout their life by watching the stars and understanding the position of the stars. This is going to affect your life, right? Read on.
And save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Right? The prognosticators, these are people that they act like they can predict what's going to happen in the future or the next month to come, right? So the Lord said, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counselors. I'm throwing a religion there. We're wearied today, 2015, by these religions. They're beating us down, right? And let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up to save thee from these things that come. So you trusting in astrology, you trusting in the stars and all these things. The Lord is saying, can these things save you though, right? Can these things give you salvation? Can these things give you life? Because that's what the Bible is giving up. That's what Christ is giving up, right? Read on.
Isaiah 47:14. Behold, they shall be as stubble.
Right.
The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying all these people that's locked into these idolatrous ways, or to these religions, or into all this astrology, up in here reading their horoscope every week, the Lord is saying it's judgment coming down on you, right? If you stay in those ways, if you live through your whole life holding on to those lies, right? Read on.
Isaiah 47:15. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save thee.
Yeah, so when the day of the Lord comes, everybody's going to be throwing away these religions. They're going to denounce these religions. They're going to say these religions is no good. And everybody's going to fly off into their own madness, right? Let me get over here. Let me get Jeremiah 7:18. I mean, the Lord, he said in the verse that we fell to worship in the sun, moon, and stars and all these things. So I'm not just going to read over it. I want to dig into it a little bit, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 7:18. The children gathered wood, and the fathers kindled the fire. The women made their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven.
So who's the Queen of Heaven today? Is it who they call Mother Nature? You know what I mean? Or is it Isis that the Egyptians lift up? Who's the Queen of Heaven? The fact of the matter, though, the Most High is a man. He's a man of war. It's no woman in heaven with him on the side, so to speak. Right? Read on.
And to pour out drink offerings unto other powers.
Right? Or today it's unto other religions, unto other contrary ways of serving the Lord. Right? Read on.
That they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger? Save the Lord. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces?
So the Lord is saying we're not just making them angry by serving religions, by worshiping the sun, moon, and the stars and these things. The Lord is saying we're also destroying ourselves because now we're confused. We don't know which way is up in the earth, right? We don't know right from wrong, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 7:20. Therefore thus saith the Lord of power. Behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beasts, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched.
Let me get Jeremiah 19:12.
Jeremiah 19:12. Thus will I do unto this place, saith the Lord, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Tophet.
Right?
And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon whose roofs they have burnt incense unto all the hosts of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other powers.
Okay, again, the next verse that we're going to dig into this some more too about this valley of Tophet and the son of Hinnom, because this is a place where they used to offer their children up and burn their children in the fire. And today we do see that as religion. When you have your child in the earth and you're not giving them no truth, no wisdom, no guidance, it's like you're sending them into the fire. You're letting them, join the football team and all these things, and now it's all about football. They're lifting that up as an idol. The next one, he want to pursue a music career, and that's all they lifting up, and that becomes an idol to them. They sell their whole souls to be successful in sports or successful in music and these things, right? That's how we're offering our kids up to the fire today, right? And again, it's speaking on these brothers and sisters that worship the sun, moon, and stars. We know them in earth today as being pagans, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 19:14. Then came Jeremiah from Tophet, where the Lord had sent him to prophesy. And he stood in the court of the Lord's house and said to all the people, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, Behold, I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it,
right?
Because they have hardened their necks that they might not hear my word.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, they don't want to hear the words of this Bible. They want to read the horoscope. They want to join a religion. They want to call themselves Muslim and these things. But nobody's not trying to hear the word of the Lord. And the Lord is saying that it's not a light thing, because if you live out your whole life like that, locked into religion and locked into lies, the Lord is saying you're going to be destroyed for those things. He's going to visit you, right? It said, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, Behold, I bring upon the city. It's talking about Jerusalem, because we went so far off with this idolatry, the Lord removed us out of our land, right? And upon all her towns, all the evil that are pronounced against it. Because the Lord, he said way back when we read in Deuteronomy 4, that we was to sit up here and worship the sun, moon, and stars, and these beasts, and make images and all these things that fall down to him, that he was going to bring destruction on us, right? Right? Because, where is it? And upon all her towns, all the evil that are pronounced against it, because they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my words, right? Let me get Jeremiah 44:15.
Jeremiah 44:15. And all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other powers, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us,
Right.
in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto you.
Yeah, some people are bold like that when you come with the Bible. They be like, get that thing out of here. We don't want to have nothing to do with that. We're locked into our Egyptology. We're locked into this. We ain't trying to hear it. That's what the Lord called hard-headed, right? They're not trying to hearken unto this word, right? Read on.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goes forth out of our own mouth.
You get people like that in the earth today. They're like, I'm my own person. You're not my father, this and that. Whatever I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? This is my ways and whatnot. There's people like this still in the earth that's totally dead against the word of the Lord, right? Read on.
To burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings, and our princes in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of vitals, and were well, and saw no evil.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they think like that too. They think that it's because of their religion why they're getting all these good things. They feel like it's because of their, their career, because they're a football player and all these things. But they don't understand that the devil gives up blessings too. You could be doing real successful in the earth and still be wicked in the eyes of the Lord, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 44:18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine.
Yeah, so they really believing in these idols. They think it's that these idols is what's giving them their juice, that's giving them their prosperity in the earth, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 44:19. And when we burnt incense to the Queen of Heaven, and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men?
Yeah, so this is something that the women, they took upon themselves to go do without the men. Similar to like what we see in the churches today, where it's mostly women that's hoarding up in the churches. The men, they home watching football on Sundays. You know what I mean? Read on.
Then Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the woman, and to all the people which had given him that answer, saying, the incense that ye burn in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, ye and your fathers, your kings and your princes, and the people of the land, did not the Lord remember them, and came it not into his mind?
Yeah, it just say the Lord never co-signed these things. The Lord never asked for these things. So why are you locked into them? Why do you believe in these things? Because you've been lied to, right? Somewhere in this earth, somebody lied to you and told you this religion was what you were supposed to be doing. Or they told you that, this astrology is what you should be doing, right? Read on.
So that the Lord could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings, and because of the abominations which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation, and an astonishment, and a curse without an inhabitant as at this day.
Yeah, to this day, 2015, we're still not in our own homeland. We're in America as second-class citizens because of idolatry, and we're still locked into the idolatry. So all we can expect is more punishments for it, right? Let me get Zephaniah 1:1-6. Yeah, religion is a forest, man. There's just so many different religions. There's so many different lines. They can't be all true. Like we read it in the scriptures, every green tree, every hill, every street corner, you see these churches. Everybody's a little bit different from each other. That's not how the Lord set it up. That's not how it should be. That's what caused divisions amongst us, right? Read on.
Zephaniah 1:1. The word of the Lord which came unto Zephaniah the son of Cushai, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, and in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord.
Right?
I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked.
Yeah, the Lord said he's going to destroy the wicked with their stumbling blocks. He's going to destroy the religion with the religious people, right? Read on.
And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord. I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah, and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of Chemarians with the priests.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying in his day, in that day, he's going to cut off all these religions. All these people that worship this perverted form of Christianity. Because when you look in the earth, the three major religions is what? It's Christianity, it's Judaism, and it's Islam, right? Those are the ones that got most people caught up in it. But the Lord's saying in his day, all those religions are going to be destroyed. They're going to be stamped out, right? Read on.
Zephaniah 1:5. And them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and that swear by the Lord, and that swear by Malcolm.
Yeah, so the Lord's saying he's not dealing with you astrologers, you people that's into the sun, moon, and stars and these things. And the Lord is saying he's not dealing with these people that's double-sided. They swear by the Lord, but yet they read the Quran too. You got people like that. You got a guy he believes in Buddhism, but then he believes in Taoism too. It's confusion, right? Read on.
And them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him.
Yeah, those are the people that the Lords are against, right? Those are the people that's gonna have the sword judgment put on them, right? Come back to the 2 Kings 17. Read that same verse.
17.
Yeah, no. We left off. Where are you? 7. You at 16.
2 Kings 17-16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their power,
Right?
and made them molten images,
Uh-huh.
even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worship all the hosts of heaven, and serve Baal.
Right? Let me get Jeremiah 11:8. It's through religion, it's through idolatry, while we're here in America today doing bad. So we can't think by staying in religion and staying in idolatry, this is going to get us out of it. Right? Read on.
Jeremiah 11:8. Yet they obeyed not, nor incline their ear.
Right? They didn't even want to listen when brothers and sisters were speaking this word out. They didn't even want to consider when they heard these scriptures coming out, right?
But walk everyone in the imagination of their evil heart.
Yeah, man. They feel that they got a better plan than the Lord, or they know a better way to walk that's going to bring them better prosperity than the Lord and better peace than the Lord, right? Read on.
Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant,
Right?
which I commanded them to do, but they did not them.
Read on.
Jeremiah 11:9. And the Lord said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. It's a problem because we're not sticking to our ways. We're checking out everybody else's ways, right? Come on.
They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers,
It's talking about the idolatry our forefathers was locked into, right? You know what?
which refused to hear my word.
They didn't want to hear. We just read it. They said, the words that proceed out of your mouth, Jeremiah, we're not going to do. But that which our own mouth has spoken, we're going to do that. They caught up, they're leaning on their own understanding. Like they know better than the Lord, right? Read on.
And they went after other powers to serve them.
Yeah, continually. They're going after the powers of the Chinaman. They're going after the powers of the African. They're going after the powers of the Arab. And they're not seeking the true power of Israel, right? Read on.
The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which
Yeah.
I made with their fathers.
Yeah, you Negroes, you Hispanics, and you people of Indian descent, right? Read on.
Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape.
We're still in that evil now. We still haven't escaped, right? Here in America, right? Read on.
And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them.
And a lot of people say that. They say, I pray, I do all this, how come the Lord don't speak back to me? A lot of people, they say that because you're locked into idolatry. The Lord is not going to hear anybody that's locked into religion and that's locked into lies, right? And that's living in lies, right? The Lord is not going to hear your prayers and your cries, right? Read on.
Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the powers unto whom they offer incense.
So they just making it worse. The Lord casts us off because of idolatry, and we're still moving into idolatry thinking it's going to save us. But there's no way these religions in the earth is going to save us or give us salvation, right? Read on.
But they shall not save them at all in the time of their trouble.
Yeah, your time of trouble, Buddha's not going to be there for you. In your time of trouble, the sun, moons, and stars, and all that astrology and horoscope, zodiac, that stuff is not going to save you, right? Read on.
For according to the number of thy cities were thy powers.
Like I said, all over the cities, everywhere. You see a religion, you see a church, you see an idol, right? Read on.
O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have ye set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal.
So again, you see on every street corner, you see a church, you see a religion, you see these idols, right? For according to the number of thy cities were thy powers, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have you set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal, right? Read on.
Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them. For I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble.
Let me get Matthew 7:13. Matter of fact, let me get Jeremiah 12:10. So the Lord's saying he's not going to hear these people that's locked into religion and idolatry. Your prayers is no good. You got to leave those things off first. You got to leave those things off and you got to learn all over again. You got to learn the Sabbath is on Saturday. It's not on Sunday. You got to learn that you shouldn't be eating these abominable things, the swine. You should be eating the beasts that the Lord say you should eat. The Lord is not going to hear you until you start leaving off the evil, until you start doing the good, right? Read what you got out.
Jeremiah 12:10. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
Yeah, they still call them pastors together. They still call them pastors today. But, the pastors, the priests, the ministers, the Lord is saying, you're destroying his people with the lies, with this religion, right? You're trodden down his portion underfoot. They have made his pleasant place into a wilderness because of the lies and because of the idolatry and all this falsehood that they're putting out in the earth, that they're teaching, right? Read on.
Jeremiah 12:11. They have made it desolate, and being desolate, it mourned unto me.
Yeah, even they're saying the land is desolate and doing bad, it's even mourning unto the Lord because it's doing so bad, right? Read on.
The whole land is made desolate, because no man layeth it to heart.
Yeah, nobody's considering the truth. Everybody's just locked up into what's pumped, being, all these televangelists all over every TV, broadcasting everywhere, just deceiving people, right? Read on.
The spoilers are come upon all high places through the wilderness. For the sword of the Lord shall devour from the one end of the land, even to the other end of the land.
We see that how Jerusalem is a desolation. It was a fruitful land, the land they call a land flowing with milk and honey. Now it's a desert. It's a wilderness, right? Nothing don't grow there. Everything is imported, right? Read on.
No flesh shall have peace.
Right?
They have sown wheat, but shall reap thorns.
Yeah, because they're sowing the wrong things. They're believing in the wrong things. They're putting their time and their effort in the wrong beliefs, right? Read on. So they're not going to get anything out of it, right? Read on.
They have put themselves to pain, but shall not profit.
Yeah, man. With these religions, some people, like, they abstain from certain things for these religions, or they might fast or whatever humiliation they go through for their religion. But it's to your own pain. It's not what the Lord asked you to do, right? Read on.
And they shall be ashamed of your revenues because of the fierce anger of the Lord.
Yeah, that money's not going to do you no good when the Lord bring down his anger, right? All that revenue and the money that you made profiting off of teaching these lies, profiting off of fleecing these people out their churches for their money, right? Read on.
Thus saith the Lord against all mine evil neighbors that touch the inheritance, which I have caused my people Israel to inherit.
Yes,
Behold,
right? It's talking about that land, Jerusalem, right? Read on.
behold, I will pluck them out of their land,
Uh-huh.
and pluck out the house of Judah from among them.
Right? So the Lord is saying he's going to pluck them out of there, pluck us out from among these heathen, and he's going to put us back into our land, right? That's our prayer and that's our hope, that we will be back in our land, right? Read on.
And it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them, and will bring again every man to his heritage, and every man to his land.
Yeah, so the Chinaman, he's going to go back to his land and to his heritage, and us, we're going to go back to Jerusalem, we're going to go back to Israel, back to our heritage, and serve the Lord in truth and in sincerity. And that's my time. Shalom.